Let's talk about this. The breakout candidates for the 2022 season. From yours truly, Law Nation. Shout out to you guys without hesitations nor deviations to the matter. Appreciate those who smashing that like button, sharing this content, letting a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let's go. The name is Law Nation. The grind for your mind. Everything else is necessary, right? Come on. Yep. Shout out to the squad, the notification gang, baby. Appreciate those who subscribing. And sharing is caring, by the way. It is, by the way. By the way of, by the way. Come on. Yeah. It's Mr. Nasty time. Mama, there go that man again. With the best beard in the land. Second to none, by the way. Let's get it. Shout out to everyone. Christopher, I see ya. Shout out to all of the Chris's, baby. Come on. Run it up, baby. Lean forward, all the haters, right there. Come on. All right. Shout out to you, Clifton. Jared. Watch how that thing come in. Victory, baby. Yeah. What's good, everybody, man? It's a wonderful time, man. Everybody's undefeated, by the way, during the off season. And, of course, you still have the off-season paper champs, the Super Bowl off-season champs, right? And then you literally got this right here, the Dallas Cowboys Daily of ranking and Dak Prescott and Tupac is back. He never died. And Biggie, he's really not Biggie anymore. He's Smalley. You got all of those things that exist in this dimension, and of course, Cowboy Nation, I absolutely get it. We understand it, but we got to talk about the breakout player and things to watch, what to look for. We got battles left and right. We got all of those things. And let me just say this right quick about Dak Prescott before we get started with anything else. I always want to get it started with him, Y'all know how this thing goes, man. Dak rankings for you guys who don't know out there. Dak Prescott is out of the top 10 in most categories, right? And I yesterday looked at this whole thing and told all of you guys, I'm glad that he's out of it, right? Put him at 15. Put Dak Prescott at 32, right? People said, oh, Law, he's overrated. No, he's overtalked, right? And when we talk about facts versus opinions versus feelings, I don't see 10 in none of these major categories, right? If you want to do that. And shout out to the Volume, Vach Lombardi, and Skywalker Steel, A to Z Sports, Skywalker Steel. Salute to those guys, right? Salute to those guys on the episode yesterday. They was talking about it, and I chimed in for a few seconds. And when they was presenting the evidence, right? And you take your feelings out of it and just look at the results. I don't see 10 in none of these major categories, right? 4th in passing of the ball as it relates to touchdowns. Passer rating, 3rd. Yards. I like to say it like that. Yards, 7th. Completion percentage, 4th. And that also, for those who say not accurate, well, you get accuracy from passer rating and completion percentage. That is tangible evidence that is accurate, that the yards are allowed, because that's not dinking and dunking. If you're 7th in the National Football League, you can't get 4,449 yards dinking and dunking. And your efficiency rate as far as touchdowns, you can't get those by mistake. Now, granted, Cowboy Nation, hear me out. I absolutely understand that we want playoff wins and everything, and we want Super Bowl rings and things like that. But based upon the criteria, you can stretch these sets of numbers out since 2016. And they will still equate to top 4 or 5 amongst all other of the other quarterbacks that's in the National Football League. That's crazy. That is flat out crazy. But it is what it is. So for those who like say, man, come on, Law, he ain't it, baby. Well, if you want that, then you can have that. But that's based off of opinions, not facts. As long as we agree with that, then we are okay. Because the other thing would be this right here, Cowboy Nation and all of the beautiful people that's watching right about now, and I think all of y'all are beautiful. When you say, well, I don't care about stats, I want the wins. There's not 5 more quarterbacks nor 6 more quarterbacks with more wins since he entered into the National Football League. So you got the win in the stats. And then when you say when it mattered the most, can he deliver? I can clearly say to you guys, in the playoff, that's not an individual situation. You got to have everybody on the same page, singing from the same hymnal. Old folks say that all the time. And in 2016, one can argue, hear me out, that the offense showed it was kind of late though, right? And I heard the people say, well, Law, if they would have started Tony Romo in that game, we would have won it. We don't know. Those are not facts. Those are other subjective thoughts and opinions. Now, granted, in 2016, they went with the hot hand. And I do believe, hear me out, I do believe that a new broom can sweep the floor good, but the old broom can get the corners. And if the Cowboys wanted to start at Romo, then they should have went with it. But we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Let it go, Cowboy Nation. Let it go. This is Dak Prescott team, and he is the starting quarterback now. Speculation for the nation. Shout out to you, Big Sarge, man. I think we had a donation in the house, man. Appreciate all of the people that give the donation to help elevate the Oxnard Fund. Appreciate those. And when I'm out there in Oxnard, don't be shy. Come on, holler at me, man. I'm gonna still have my camera and stuff, you know. I'm gonna have my oodles and noodles. I'm gonna have my whole setup, and I want you guys to come by and hit me up and holler at me, and we'll wrap it up like grown folks, man. We'll have that sit down conversation, and it will be the best, baby. I promise you. You know, I'm cool like the other side of the pillow, right? Shout out to Philly Fan D. I enjoy the show. The NFC East best, all in sports. The best in all of sports. Now that you mentioned that, I truly believe, and shout out to you, Philly Fan D, I truly believe if it was a battle royale of content creators, I don't think any other divisions have a best group of guys like we do, right? Think about it. We the Trailblazers. You really don't see other, like the Miami Dolphins content creator, Packers, I challenge any of all group of guys against anybody else. The Denver Broncos, the Raiders, Panthers, everybody. I really think that it started all with the Cowboys, and then it trickled down to other people trying to start their own content creations and beyond, right? But if you really think about it and contextualize it, they don't hold a chance against us, the Cardinals content creators, even my brother, the Niners, they don't stand a chance. We are Trailblazers. We started this thing, and baby, I let it hang, I let it hang. Now they do have other people with that got great YouTube channels or what have you, but collectively, man, they don't even hold a chance against us, man. But shout out to my guy Chisel Dante. He is a Steelers content creator. But in the battle royale, I think we'll beat them down, baby. Word for word, man. He won't hold a candle against me. Come on, let's be real with it. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. But neither here nor there. Let's get to this breakout candidate situation. Let me put y'all beautiful, how beautiful you are, comments up. Oh, let me do projections first, and then we'll put your comments up. Projections. All right, so this was from Pro Football Focus. They have Tony Pollard projected to be 983. Like, come on, man, give this man another 20 to 30 yards so he can get over 1,000, right? But that's just projected. And then they got CD Lamb at 1,314 yards, right? And Elijah Elliott at 1,300 yards, and Dak Prescott at 4,700 yards or what have you, or 705 if you want to count the 5. I truly believe that this projection is wrong, right? I want Dak Prescott to throw for 4,000 some yards, but I prefer, this is just me, I prefer for them to put the ball in the belly of those two other guys that you see, 20 and 21. I prefer for them to really put the ball in the belly of 20 and 21. For those who follow my Twitter page, be sure to check that out, Cowboy Nation. And I kind of broke down the playoff game in a small snippet. I showcased the first opening drive of the 49ers. I showcased that. And I had some hate mail after it. Some people said, hey, man, some people that don't know me, right? They just only looking at the highlight there for 3 minutes, and it was the opening drive. Hey, Law, man, if you love the 49ers so much, why don't you report for them? Why don't you be a Niner fan? But my whole point is I'm objective. I try to give you guys the objective analysis, meaning that opening drive should be documented, well documented. Go to my Twitter page, baby, and it will be this video right here, the opening drive. Let me pull it up right quick. Just bear with me, Cowboy Nation. And it goes into details of how the Cowboys should open up on a road or anything. And of course, I got hate mail after this video. I'm just pointing out the obvious. You got to be objective with your analysis, and the 49ers came to play. They pretty much said, okay, yeah, you the Cowboys, and yeah, this is a home playoff game for you, but we wanted more. And the opening drive, they did everything and anything to take the wheel from the Cowboys as it dominating in the trenches and pinpointing and pointing out number 30, Anthony Get Down Brown, with their approach and their attack. They dominated. They absolutely did. And guys, when you look at everything, I said on the opening playoff drive, Cowboys versus the 49ers game, want the vegetables. Nobody wants the good stuff that will help you grow. And you learn, write this down, Cowboy Nation. You don't have to like me, by the way. You don't. But write this down. You learn more from your failures than your success. I digress. Let's move up a little bit. And then I followed back with the Cowboys' best drive in the playoff game versus the 49ers was when they was balanced, when they had the balanced approach, when they run to set up, to open up the pass. And I'm going to get to the candidates shortly, but I'm on a tangent right now. I got to break this out because it's in my heart, right, to tell you guys. I want to give you the truth. I don't want to lie to kick it.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud, too.
That statement goes for both ways. Their best drive was when they was running the ball, when they utilized Ezekiel, Elijah, Elliott, Ed, Tony Pollard. You don't have to put them on the backfield at the same time, by the way. But when you utilize both weapons, you score. The craziest thing of it all, Cowboy Nation. Tony P had 4 touches in the entire game. But this time that you decide to put the ball in the belly of Tony Pollard, even for a few reps, and I'm not saying that Tony is better than Ezekiel. This is not a battles game. We scored a touchdown. It opened up a pass for Cedric Wilson to score, to move the ball 19 plus yards down the field, right? So when I look at everything and I contextualize everything, I see that, hey, there are some spurts, there are some moments that even Kellen Moore is able to elevate, right? But the problem is with Kellen Moore, in my humble opinion, is levels of experience. He got to continue to put the butter on the bread. And how did that happen? Sometimes he get amnesia within the game. And then we're going to talk about this guy right here, James Washington. But you guys, I hope that you guys get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take away from Kellen Moore because I can see the inexperience in it, right? And I'm not being a Debbie Downer of Kellen Moore. He's here for another year, but that was his 3rd season ever calling offenses. And I'm quite sure if Kellen Moore was in his 13th year, y'all just hear me out, baby. Woo! If Kellen Moore was in his 13th year, that drive that we saw, that he executed, that was really beautiful, of sprinkling in Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, we will see that throughout the course of the game. Let's get to the topics, baby. Appreciate everybody, man. If you like what you're hearing, I beg of you. I beg of you to smash the like button, share this content. If you like, only if you like it. If you don't like it, just keep watching until you found out these are the parts I like, right?
Let's focus on Breakout and open competition as we get ready for our nonstop training camp.
Can y'all hear?
Can
y'all hear that? Let me know.
Yeah, so the first ones that I look at for breakout candidates, I'm trying, and this doesn't mean that these guys are all going to hit. It just means these are the potential guys. Like when you see a J-Ron Curse blow up last year, or when Byron Jones, all of a sudden it's like, wow, it clicked. I mean, that was obviously a position change, but it clicked for him, and it's like, wow, this is
Appreciate the T-Mac.
Schultz.
Yeah, Schultz. Exactly. Perfect example. 2020 Schultz. Even Jarwin to an extent when he got paid. So I look at who's at least got the chance to do it, because I think they're going to need more than one J-Ron Curse breakout guy in order for them to be really successful this season. And so when I look around at the roster, I saw 3 names that really stood out to me.
Okay.
And the first one, again, as a candidate, is James Washington.
All right, so James Washington as a breakout candidate. Before we dive into James Washington, I just want to let you guys know, I've seen some people say, he's 5'10", 5'11". Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the man height. I done seen Steve Smith destroy half of the NFL, and he was like 5'8", 5'9", respectfully, right? But neither here nor there. The Cowboys, if he is the guy, like I put out here on this tweet, I said that basically James Washington would be the number 2 wide receiver until someone else take it or until Michael Gallup return. Noah Brown, Simi Fehoko, Jalen Tolbert, TJ Vasher, Drummond, Ty, Dennis, Brandon Smith, and Jaquari Roberson, all of those boys, I like what they bring to the table, but it's more so of James Washington's job to lose than those guys to gain. Now, we are high, like John Legend high on Jalen Tolbert, right? And you can't find or show me where he scored a touchdown at on the National Football League, right? He's a rookie. Rookie will make rookie mistakes, even if he was drafted in the first round. So I get it. As Cowboy Nation, we have high hopes for him to be successful. I quite remember even when Terrell Owens played for the 49ers, by the way, when he was drafted, he wasn't asked to be the wide receiver 1. They slowly integrated him into their particular system. And when it was time for him to arrive, he did such, right? So that is what I'm looking for out of Jalen Tolbert. I don't want to put so much on the man plate year 1 that we look back at this and we would say, man, dog, if only he was playing like he was playing on the edge or the latter end on the front end. No, slowly put him in. And the same could be said for my guy over here, CeeDee Lamb. Heavy is the crown, being the number 1 target, being the number 1 wide receiver now, right? One can argue, hey, man, Lord, he haven't earned the spot. No, you got to give it to him now. You got to see what you got out of him. He's going into his 3rd year playing. And this would be predicated upon now of whether or not you want to extend him, right? Daniel Valdez, appreciate you. Hernandez, appreciate you, man. Thank you for jumping in. Hakeem, how long until Oxnard, Law? Oxnard kick off on the 20, I believe, 6. I recommend people to get out there to Oxnard if you want to see pad action, to get out there on August the 1st. Around that time. But if you just want to mix and mingle with the other guys that's out there in Oxnard, get out there as soon as possible, right? Even if they do have only shirts and shorts or what have you for the first opening day, it's all about mixing and mingling, right? With the people that represent or like the same team that you like. But neither here nor there. Let's get into this James Washington.
And we haven't gotten a chance to see James Washington yet because he's been walking around in a boot, and he hasn't had an opportunity to really work with the offense or anything like that. But this is a guy who was a 2nd-round pick in 2018, was a guy that the Cowboys liked a lot. They brought him in here for a visit. That was the year they took Michael Gallup. He was one of the receivers that they were looking at as potential 2nd or 3rd-round guy. And so James Washington is somebody who made his name at Oklahoma State as the guy who runs routes 7 through 9 on the route tree. And so listen, for those of you who don't know what the route tree is, there are 9 standard routes that everybody runs, and they're numbered in the route tree as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 through 9 are 7 is the post, 8 is the go, or 8 is the corner, 9 is the go route. And so all this stuff down the field, stuff breaking towards the middle of the field, deep, breaking towards the sideline, or going deep.
What we think of with Gallup. Yeah,
honestly. That's the thing, is that with Gallup out likely the first couple games of the season, then somebody's going to need to fill that role. And I think there's a good chance that with Tolbert and Washington both on the field, Washington's going to fill the role of let's push things deep down the field with Washington, because that's where he was, got his whole, got reputation. Teams excited about him. Yeah, when he was coming out. And so he started off really well. His 2nd year in Pittsburgh, he had 44 catches, 735 yards, was almost 17 yards a catch, and you saw that. I think these last couple years where things have been not great for him, he's playing underneath routes. The offense changed with Ben Roethlisberger being what he was, and then playing with Mason Rudolph, and Just that offense sputtering like it did.
Yeah.
And he's somebody who last year he had 44 targets, 24 receptions. So that's 54% catch percentage. And people look at that and they go like, well, that's not great. He's getting short passes and yet he's still only catching half of them.
Before he go into that, shout out to Leonard. CD will not let anyone on his team outdo him. Yeah, I appreciate you. And thank you for the $1.99 for your mind. Appreciate you. James Washington is one of those guys that the Cowboys really see that they're going to try to elevate his game for the Cowboys. And he will be wearing number 83. And Cowboy Nation, I really want you guys to pay attention to this segment of what he's going to say about the drops or about the catches or the catchable balls, because this is a very, very insightful information that if you only look at production, you'll miss the meat worrying about the potatoes. That's an old folks saying. Don't worry about the peas and missing the meat, So listen to this part right here.
Sports Info Solutions tracked all of his targets and said that they had, of his 44 targets, they said 28 were catchable targets. And so this is a big chunk of passes that were not catchable. So his adjusted catch percentage based off of catchable targets was 85% last year. And I think that James Washington's going to be a really interesting case study this year for everybody who always wants to know, does Dak make receivers better? Because typically they just draft their own. I mean, I know everybody says Amari Cooper got Dak paid and things like that, but if you want to look genuinely, there are a lot of people who would say Derek Carr is better than Dak right now. Dak did improve Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper played better here than he played with Derek Carr.
Get him!
And so I think that this will be a good chance for people to say, all right, let's see if he elevates the game of James Washington. So that's a guy who I think...
Didn't he just do it for Cedric Wilson?
But Cedric Wilson never played with anybody else. So people can argue, well, that's just his skill set.
Okay.
And that's why I think it's difficult, is because you can't really compare it. Even Randall Cobb, who played well here, he played with Aaron Rodgers previously. It wasn't like he did anything more special here than anywhere else. So this will be one of the first real tests, I think, that we can point to and say, does Dak make this guy better? And I think James Washington has a chance to break out. There will be a competition for the third receiver into the regular season. So Tolbert and Washington will get those reps early on, and then whoever plays better is likely to take over whenever Gallup comes back. But I think that's a player that has a chance to break out.
Great break.
James Washington, baby. So the conversation about this goes a long way, Cowboy Nation, and I can't wait. I literally can't wait to see how this thing all, settle down and get going. Now, Bobby Belt, I don't like Bobby Belt at all, man. I absolutely love Bobby Belt, man. His way of presenting information and evidence about players go all the way back. I recall long time ago, I think it was the year 2015-ish, maybe 14, Bobby Belt used to have his own podcast, and I used to literally try to break off of my lunch break or what have you to tune in to Bobby Belt, because I know that it's going to be objective. I know that his reasonings will be from a football analytical aspect of it. And now that he's pretty much the Cowboys insider, right? New role for him, worked with a lot of people for a long time. And you now can see Bobby Belt doing his own thing is remarkable. Shout out to him on 105.3 The Fan. And shout out to anyone that followed Bobby Belt. And he's a cool dude, by the way, in person too. So not a lot of people are cool in person and on air, what have you, on the radio, but he's cool in person. And he got a long list of music that he knows. He's very diverse in that aspect of it. And him and Jane Slater. Like Bobby Belt was literally Jane Slater right hand, man, if you can say, to all of the good stuff and information. So shout out to him, and let's listen to more of the breakout players. But before we do that, let me ask you guys, who do you guys feel? I should have said this on the front end. Who do you guys feel would be the breakout player for the Dallas Cowboys, representing the silver and blue with the star on the side of the helmet? Who would be the breakout player? James is one of my guys right now. Washington. I already told you guys defensive-wise it's going to be Malik Hooker. And then I told you guys, too, hear me out. And this is before I even got a chance to see this, man. Play a game. And that's Sam Williams, right? I just have this gut feeling. I could be 1,000,000% wrong, right? But Sam Williams is going to have a double-digit sacks, baby. Coop says C.D. Lamb. My guy Perez says Jabril Cox, right? I like Jabril. Who else you got? Got Fowler. Yeah, Fowler have a very, very intriguing situation in front of him. My guy Caston says Marquise Bell, basically. Yeah. Oh, Sheila. She said Sam Williams. And I can't. Let me contextualize it like this. Who will be the breakout candidate outside of the rookies, right? We gonna exclude the rookies from this. And I'm not saying that Sam Williams will be a breakout candidate. I'm just saying that Sam Williams will have 12 or double-digit sacks, right? So I want to know, like, who will be the breakout? Like, they already had their toe in the water with the NFL, right? And I'm going to give you guys James Washington, right? I can't wait till somebody on the radio, they going to say James Washington, right? And it's going to be on the defensive side. It's going to be, believe it or not. And somebody said, Mendoza says Anthony Brown. Gallimore, okay. I would give you guys James Washington on the offense. On the defensive side, I'm hesitant to say this because it's a very thin situation, but it's going to be Kelvin Joseph. Right, it's going to be Kelvin Joseph. Even though I'm still disappointed in the kid, and he's still rapping. I saw him on Instagram. He came out with another song last night. I was like, "Come on, dude, let it go, let it go." I mean, come on, man. You know, and I think that Osa can make that leap. D-Law, he already broke out. So my guys, my three guys, just for right now in July the 13th, James Washington, KJ, and Malik Hooker. It got to be Malik Hooker, for sure. Pollard, I think Tony Pollard is already broken out. I really do. We saw it last year, man. We saw that Saints game. We saw that Raiders game. The only person that could shut down Tony Pollard, his name was Kellen Moore. You know, his name was Kellen Moore. I'm like, come on, man. Tyler Smith. I love it. But I'm only relegating this to guys right now that's already played in the National Football League. Philly Fan D says Hooker got great talent, right? Sheila says Curse and Pollard, right? Ridgeway, the best way. I like that. Let's listen to these guys right here.
Down on that, this is Bobby Belt with his Cowboy breakout candidates, and the first one was James Washington.
The next one, the next two actually are on the defensive side of the ball. The next one for me is Malik Hooker. And Malik Hooker is a guy who had a lot of success in college, roaming center field, playing that role. He has, as Broadus has talked about before, he has some of the best ball skills we've ever studied in college players coming out. That guy was an incredible center fielder. And even when he got into the NFL, when he was the 15th overall pick in that Solomon Thomas draft, Malik Hooker started out incredibly well with the Colts. He had 3 interceptions in his first 4 games. He was all over the place for them, and then he got hurt midway through the season. And then ever since then, it's been a struggle. Got hurt every single year. Stuff to his knee, stuff to his leg. He had a shoulder injury.
I remember nothing from him last year.
Oh, wow. And when he said he remembered nothing from him, that let me know that he didn't dive into the tape. And that's the other guy. I think that is, I don't know, Sean from RJ, so apologize. It's Sean or RJ, but it's the other guy on the opposite side of my guy Bobby Belt that's talking right now. But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. when I show you guys the clips of Malik Hooker, he was a guy that they pretty much played down inside the box, came down and hit and filled. He played on top, and he's a very cerebral guy. Great foot speed, in my opinion. Subtle speed, that's what I can say. Subtle speed. Hips are really good. It transitions really nice out in space. We can literally say he got oily hips or what have you. And Malik Hooker is a guy that I like as an enforcer. He plays a great deed of disciplined football. If he got cutback responsibilities, he would do that. He won't play hero ball. And if he's a force guy, he will come down and field. We've seen safeties for the Cowboys make business after business decisions. We had safeties that played reckless, abandoned football, like the J.J. Wilcox. I remember he came down and laid the wood on Odell Beckham, knock him out of the game, right? But in the same breath, he would abandon his spot and leave the vacancy on the field, and you'd be like, God dog, JJ. And then you had guys like the Xavier Woods who said, man, he would give you all of that good stuff. He would give you disciplined football. He would give you good coverage abilities. He would come down and field. But then he would have this thing, whereas I'm not going to give it to you 100% of the time. I'm only going to give it to you 65 or some days 50. I don't want that type of safety, right? So now we got Malik Hooker. His worst enemy been the war of attrition. If Malik Hooker can stay healthy, don't you guys know what we got out of him? Ooh-wee. Yeah. Real says fundamentals. Yeah.
That's the thing. He had an Achilles injury in 2020 that killed his season. And typically you see a jump from guys the second season removed from an Achilles. The first season back is always, consistently you can go almost in any sport.
Yeah.
The second season you see them improve. It takes a while. You're back playing, but you're not really yourself again until year two. And so last year he came in here, and I think you saw that progressively getting better, and he was given more snaps as the year went on, and it was, okay, yeah, let's give him a little more. We can trust him with this, and he's going to make plays for us. And when we saw him out at training camp, he was making a lot of plays on the ball. He was, reading things, whether it's a tip ball in the air that he just happens to get under, or making a play on the ball, or whatever else. He has all those skills that naturally lead to turnovers. And even though I think Jaron Kearse has been better and they've gotten some better play at safety, they have not found that roaming center field ball hawk guy.
Is he going to start?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's going to start. It's going to be a little weird. They're going to have three safeties on the field a lot because Donovan Wilson will function as the strong safety. Malik Hooker is the free safety. And Jaron Kearse, even though he's a safety, is going to play up in the box as a linebacker, essentially. They're going to have three safeties on the
We're going to play this one again. And what I need to do is give you guys some analysis on Donovan Wilson. So look for that sometime this week for me to break down Donovan Wilson. Cody 337 said, how does DeRon Bland looking? I like DeRon Bland, and I don't want to play the experimental game of moving him to free safety or to a strong safety look. Keep him at cornerback and let him develop his craft and game, and we will see a better DeRon Bland in the following years, right? He's a futures guy. I think that the Cowboys need to stop it, drafting a cornerback and moving them to safety. You need to stop that. We've seen how that happened for Reggie Robinson, but neither here nor there. Or Izzy, Izzy, I think the world of his cornerback tape. I don't like him that much at safety. Neither here nor there. Cowboy Nation, we will play a lot of situational downs, whereas we will have three safeties out there. Hooker being at the top of the roof, right? Donovan Wilson being down at the strong, and like he said, Jaron Kearse being that alternate linebacker. Kearse got all of the abilities to change a lot of people's mind about is he or is he not a top safety in the National Football League. Kearse got the ability. He got decent foot speed, redirect game is just crazy. He can blanket a tight end, right? And he can hit. He can feel. He got a good vibe of the game. So when you look at Jaron Kearse and his abilities, you can literally say he's your other linebacker that got the ability to cover. So if the Cowboys heading into some packages with LVE, Micah Parsons, and Kearse, I'm okay with it, right? Nevertheless, I really banking on Jabril Cox to step up to move one of those linebackers out of that spot, by the way. And you already know who. But it's the land of the unknown with Jabril Cox because we got to see it out there on the field, right? But let's listen to this guy on what he just said about that.
On the field a lot because Donovan Wilson will function as the strong safety, Malik Hooker is the free safety, and Jaron Kearse, even though he's a safety, is going to play up in the box as a linebacker, essentially, filling a pseudo role similar to what Cam Chancellor did for Dan Quinn for years in Seattle. But I think that that's a guy who, especially coming off that injury, he last year, year 5 for him, played in more games than he ever had in his career with Dallas. He had never been able to stay that healthy in Indianapolis. So health has always been his issue. A lot of teams across the league were interested in him. That's why Dallas ended out, Dallas typically gives their 1-year extensions to guys, and that's it. The fact that they went 2 years on Malik Hooker, that can be an indicator for you guys that he did have a market because there were other teams that were interested and wanted to bring him here, and there was some security in giving him that 2-year deal. So I think Malik Hooker is a guy who he has all the attributes to be a really good center fielder for them, and he's 26 this year.
Wow. Yeah.
Still young.
Jeez.
And, had an interception last year, played a lot better in the second half of the season. I think he's going to get a chance to start and contribute in a big way.
Man, that's amazing, man. I remember when I was 26, baby. God dog, that man's still young, Malik Hooker. His life is just starting. And when you think about it, really, I thought Malik Hooker was like 29-ish, 28, 29-ish. But being 26, shoot, he haven't played his best football yet, right? So, man, if this dude, man, can find a way to hit up Jason Witten and say, man, let me get some of those paints of blood up out of you, man, so I can stay healthy. Man, this guy will have a remarkable career. And it translates. It flat out do all of the things that I saw out of Malik Hooker's college tape and when he was healthy and with the Colts and now transitioning over to the Cowboys land. It translates. Like, I don't really see, hey, man, this dude lost a step, right? Or hey, man, what's going on with him? I truly believe we was talking about safeties and things like that before, right? And a lot of people were saying that he could be Ed Reed. And now that's me saying, no, I don't see that out of him, right? Now, if he can reach that potentials, I'll do a whole nother video. But I clearly can see Malik Hooker being like, let's say, Eric Berry before the injury plus the cancer, right? Who remember Eric Berry? Let me know in the chat. Like, healthy Eric Berry could be what we getting out of Malik Hooker for the 2022 season. A guy that can roam sideline to sideline, come down and field, make the quarterback pay when they try to throw in tight windows. And on top of that, hear me out, Cowboy Nation. When your safety is good, not even just average, but when I'm talking about, let me just say, when your safety is above average, let's say it this way, your DB then can look at it and say, all right, cool. I can be a little bit more aggressive. I can take some more chances. I can literally stretch it a little bit more and get away with a whole lot more. And if Malik Hooker plays up to that level, oh my goodness, the Cowboys done fool around as much as we throw all the shade and dirt on the Jones family. Stephen Jones. We still got to keep the energy with them. We ain't going to let them off the hook. But, man, we're going to have to say, you know what? We will have to do an apology video, right? For their gambling, right? That it paid off, right? So what's good for the goose, good for the gander, so we will have to do that, right? And then Jerry.
I want me some glory hole.
And he have a right, to say anything he need to say. If this thing turns around just like that, the gamble, the risk that they had for Hooker, right? The gamble and the risk that they had for J-Ron Curse, right? The gamble and the risk that they took on the other guy that I was talking about, Kelvin Joseph, right? T Love says Sean Taylor. Ain't nobody was like Sean Taylor, boy. Whew. May he rest in peace, man. Sean Taylor was going to take the league all the way over, man. He if you think that dude gave up on plays, look at the Pro Bowl. That dude was leveling, taking heads in the Pro Bowl. Right? Ed Reed was cool, but Sean Taylor would take your head. Troy Polamalu was cool. Right? Dawkins or whatever. Was it Dawkins? I forgot his name. The way all the black magic, Beijing. Hey, he's a Hall of Famer. Shout out to the Eagles. But Sean Taylor would take your head off. Minutes, right? Come down and deliver the wood. Sean Taylor was literally a mixture of Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. You add some spices, put some of that in there. Let me add some Darren Woodson in there. Let me add some Brock Marion thumping power. Sean Taylor was Brian Dawkins. I was about to say Sean Dawkins. Yeah, Brian Dawkins. Yeah. Bob Sanders was a beast, but only at 5'8". Bob Sanders was literally Steve Smith at DB. A mini Ray Lewis. Yup. Yeah, that's the best way to say it, Cody. Sean Taylor was Ray Lewis with range, right? playing that safety for crying out loud. With the ball skills of prime, believe it or not, for your mind. But it is what it is. May he rest in peace. He giving football players in heaven a fit, I heard. They like, man, God dog, man, this dude is giving us fit.
And then the other guy for you, and this is one I think Brian's disagreeing with me on a little bit, because he thinks there's going to be some competition here, and that's at 3-technique defensive tackle. And my guy is Oso Odigizua. And I think that Odigizua, who was really great the first half of the season, I think what you saw from him in large part was the rookie wall that everybody talks about. He played at UCLA. I mean, it's 10, 12 games, and then you're done. And so going 17 games and then going into the playoffs, it's a lot to ask for. And he went from being the guy that was playing 65, 70% of the snaps at 3-technique, that after week 10, which is right around the time that he would have been done playing for UCLA, after week 10, the Cowboys played him less than 50% of the time. And I think that they knew where he was. But you watched early on the way he was playing for them. He was very disruptive, always in the backfield. Even when he wasn't getting sacks, he was pressuring the quarterback. You look at games 2, 3, and 4 last year for him. 2 quarterback hits against the Chargers, 2 against the Eagles, 3 against the Panthers. He was causing a lot of problems for defenses, and they were having to account for him. I've told this on the air before. I had a friend who plays for another team. He plays defensive line for another team.
Right.
And they were getting ready to play Dallas, and so he was just kind of studying some film of Dallas. And he texted me and he said, who in the world is 97 for the Cowboys? And I was like, it's Oso Odigizua. It's their rookie defensive tackle. And he goes, that guy is a badass. That guy is so good. You guys got a player there.
Wow.
Yeah, and man, the aspect of breakout player, like who's gonna pick Tristan Hill as the breakout player of the year, for the 2022 season? And when you look back at Tristan tape, I truly believe that his get off is still there. Power's not there. But when you look at Osa tape, you can see squeeze and get skinny, get off is there, right? And his pad levels, not necessarily his power. Low man what? Can y'all put that down? What do low man do? Low man what? Yeah, I don't know the answer. You know, low man win, baby. The low man win. You get low and you shoot up there, shoot. Low man wins, always wins. Yeah, Brian, you know, yeah. And I truly believe the extra incentive of Osa ability to get low, to stay low. To get low, to stay low, to shoot upfield is the reason why he had all of those pressures. And he was still raw in a sense, believe it or not. So heading into his second season, I think that Bobby Belt is on to something. And I flat out like it. I like the aspect and the notion that we can have a battle royale for that role in that spot as the 3-tech, right? I do. And the two other films that I got to do a Chauncey Golston film, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, right? And now, whatever we seen out of his rookie year, we got to take an eraser and erase that because he got 20 more pounds on his frame. So Golston, they probably looked at the landscape and said, okay, we read up D-Law, right? We still have Basham, I believe, and we have Dorrance Armstrong. We drafted Sam Williams, right? Dante Fowler's in the mix. How in the world are you going to get some playing rep? Oh, get a little size. We kick you down inside. We kick you down inside. And they will have packages available for him as a rotational situation. Shout out to you, CM. Appreciate you. Dorrance Armstrong can turn into a beast. This is from Code 8. We waiting on it. We are. Right. Cowboys trust the defensive coach. I truly do. Bring in Big Sue for a year. Cody is spitting the truth right there, right? As much as I talk glowingly of Osa in Navell, these are the things that remains a big question mark when you look at it from the bigger picture. Let's see. Fowler touches 9 to 10 sacks. Ooh, Jay Lombardi, boy, did that happen? Mm-hmm. Oh, if that happened. Val says, yo, Law, need that headband. I reached out to the team of people that designed his headband. They don't make them anymore. I reached out to the team of people that designed his headband, and I talked to them, and they said they only make them in bulk, so you got to buy 1,000 at a time at the rate I believe is $8.90. So y'all do the quick math: 1,000 times $8.90, and you have to reach out to the. And here's another thing: you got to get a clearance from the Cowboys marketing arm for them to send the image over, because it's trademarked image, for them to send information over. And when I did all of that, they said no. Cowboys organization said no. So you guys going to have to reach out to Cowboys media and say, hey, there's this dude named Law Nation, got a headband that's trademarked by the Cowboys organization and franchise. And can you guys reach out to the distributors to create the headband? Now, granted, I tried my best, and then there are oh my God, Eastside Harold says $8,000 for toilet paper. Man, Eastside, man, we love you, man. Yeah, they're going to be like, to buy $25. See, bam, there you go. You buy. I mean, you can make a profit off of them. But the company, I got all the way down to that part, and they said they got scared to make it because I didn't have that clearance from the marketing arm for them to put the star and these sorts of things on it. And then I said, what about making a Law Nation one? And then they gave me a good rate, but the image didn't look as way I wanted it. And I was like, all right, forget it, So I gave up that fight. I tried, baby. I tried my darndest, man, to get people out, because what I wanted to do is buy a gang of these headbands and just give them away, right? To the subscribers, the marketing people, to the subscribers and people that gave donations, what have you. But that's a story of a different day. Headbands make your head sweat. This is from Akeem. No, actually, this is specialized material, believe it or not. This is absorb sweat, right? And it's cool to the touch. I forgot the name of the fabric, and wonderful fabric. It came out a couple of years ago, and trust and believe this fabric, it never gets hot. It always cool to the touch. I forgot the name of the fabric, but it is what it is. Y'all got to reach out to Jerry Wayne Jones, or when the Cowboys YouTube or Facebook, y'all just keep hitting them up and say, hey, man, I want that headband. I want that headband. I want that headband. And eventually they would see the dollars mount, and then they would start having them at the pro shops. That X-File. It is. It's X-File fabric, man. I went to like other websites, believe it or not, to see if I can get like a headband. And when I purchased it and I put the headband on, it wasn't the same. I'm like, dang, man. So this company, they do all types of designs and things like that, but it is what it is. I don't want to get into too much of it, but send an email to Johnny Walker. Yeah. Come on, give me the Johnny Walker thing. If Fowler can make any, look, we got a few minutes. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. The phone lines are open. Let me know if you guys want to be on this episode. Be sure that your voice and all of the things that you talk about will be also heard on iTunes, Roku devices, as well as other platforms like Facebook and Rumble. If you guys haven't checked out my Rumble account, look it up. Go to rumble.com/Law Nation, and you'll see my face there. So shout out to my Rumble team, too. And I got a person that's live right here named Jay Versick. What's good?
What's good, Law? Man, I came on here because I wanted to say something real quick about the quarterback position that I'm quite sure a lot of people don't see or think about when it comes to the O-line situation.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know if analysts understand how important that left guard and left tackle position is, which Dak had a lot of trouble with last year. Granted, a lot of our flags came from Connor Williams. That is a mental effect.
Yeah.
When you know that your left guard is always going to get beat.
Shoot.
And
you're right.
Dak had to deal with that a lot last year. And coming from a person who played the position a little, I understand that left guard, left tackle, you don't really get to see that side because that's your blind side.
Right.
And when you coming off of an ankle injury, didn't really get any OTAs, and then you coming off into the season as a starting quarterback with a lot of expectations on your shoulders, it can probably be mentally, challenging. A lot of people say, "Oh, once you're out there, there's no excuses." But this guy kind of had an excuse that every time he had made a good play, there was a flag on the field.
Yeah. They do take away.
So this, it takes a lot of it away, and that's why when I was looking at these top 10 QB lists that came out, granted one of them had Dak as the top 10, but I'm seeing the other ones that like Dak isn't top 10. I really asked a lot of people, look at the entirety of the game and not just the highlights that you see on YouTube, because the entirety of the game is going to give you what you need to see compared to highlights on YouTube that give you 11 minutes or 12 minutes of highlighted plays, and you like, oh man, this guy played like trash.
Yeah. And the over talking aspect is always a factor because they always talking about Dak Prescott. And when you talk about things more, right, you tend to find negative things, and then you elevate the negative part of it. And if Dak Prescott played for any team, if he played on any team, he would be a top 5 quarterback. Literally, based off of stats and wins alone. Let's say, for example, if he played for the Jets and had these type of numbers, they would literally have a street name after him. They would say that he's the savior of the franchise, and then they would try to build things around him, right? And the Jets would love it. They would literally kiss the ground that he walk on because they have been in a situation whereas they didn't have even though they got more playoff wins than us since 1996, I believe, but they didn't have this level of consistency with the quarterback, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. And, one last thing. Another thing that, people don't take into consideration is there's a lot of calls that you can put on those top 5, top 6 QBs that they will get that Dak doesn't get. One game I will constantly have to go back to, I'll let people know, go back to that New England game where that man was getting rough in the passer throughout that game and there was no call on him. But Tyron Smith grabbed the dude by a shoulder pad, holding. It's like, bro, it's so inconsistent for the Cowboys that it's really crazy that when we literally say we play 2 teams, we literally do play 2 teams.
We do. Yeah.
And one statement that I hope that Mike McCarthy really brings into the team, especially for offense, is do not let your defense be on the field longer than you.
Wow.
That statement has always been true for me.
Yeah, I like that.
When my coach has told us that your offense should always be on the field longer than your defense because the other team is playing too fast trying to catch up, and that tires them out. Right. And I'm like, bro, you got me on that one.
Man, that's good stuff.
That's all I got to say, Law. Appreciate it, man. Shout out Cowboy Nation. We up this season, trust me.
Yes, indeed, man. I like that. Cowboys up, man. We going to be up. I appreciate you, Jay Verse. Shout out to you.
I appreciate it,
man. Big supporter of the channel. I think he's one of the mods as well, and he's on all platforms. He send me stuff via Twitter and tag me and things and Instagram. I really appreciate those that's on multiple platforms, rocking with the nation. And we had different worlds, right? Facebook community is straight up different from the Instagram. Instagram community is straight up different from the YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. And we all collide together, man. So I don't like it at all. I love it. We got different points of views on things. Let me let my guy in. Jared, you live from the 260.
Hey, what's good with it, Law?
Nothing to it, man. Talk to me.
Hey, man, so I'll say one thing, man. I really believe in Malik Hooker, man. I think this dude's going to have a great season. What do you think, Law?
I truly believe that he can turn the corner. On the high end, I look at him being like an Eric Berry for us, right? On the low end, he can be like what he did for us last season. So that's a good expectation for him.
Right. And this name kind of was weird, but I would say his floor is somebody like a Ryan Clark. Like, that's the first name that came up.
Okay.
Like, at least in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, Ryan Clark was a very nitty type of safety, undersized guy, but played with a big heart. And he gave up a lot of yards, though, even though he talk about my guy Trayvon Diggs giving up stuff. I would say if he's Ryan Clark, I want him to be the Steelers version of Ryan Clark, and definitely not the Washington.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Not the Washington version of Ryan Clark. Yeah,
the Washington guy was a backup.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I give it that. Like, Ryan Clark was also a big hitter, though. Like, that's the one thing. Like, he was a thumper.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, one of the other things, this makes me like, you brought up Diggs, and I think, because I'm just looking at this, and I'm looking at some of the people that just land-based Trayvon Diggs. Like, I can't remember the last time that a man gives you 10-plus interceptions, and the man gets cooked. Like, even, and this is a while ago, I don't know if you remember back then, but, like, Delta O'Neal back in 2005 had 10 interceptions.
Oh wow!
And he got back then, and he got praised. Like Xavier Howard, even more recently, like 2 years ago, he got 10 interceptions. Like he got praised. Like I think when you get 11 interceptions, I still don't understand like how you get 11 interceptions and you just get cooked. Like I don't understand that, Lo. What's your take on that?
Man, that star on the side of his helmet. You know, like I said on the previous, I think Marshawn Lattimore allowed 50 yards less than Trayvon Diggs, and not even a word is mentioned about yards given up. And Marshawn Lattimore is considered a really nice cornerback, and I think Diggs had 9 more interceptions than him. But you know how it goes: silver and blue on the side of your helmet, you're a target.
Yeah, that's an interesting comparison actually, because looking at it from that standpoint, like Lattimore is kind of not necessarily a similar safety, but like his play style is similar in terms of like how they play in phase and all that. But I think one of the reasons why it doesn't get mentioned is because the Saints, I'm not gonna say the Saints aren't a team that like gets publicized, but like ever since they lost Drew Brees, they haven't really been on national TV all that much, so people don't really care about them as much. I just think the thing is that we got to understand. I'm not saying we as in us.
Right.
I mean the media really is what I'm talking about. The media got to understand that like players that play how Diggs plays, yards will be given up. Even Jalen Ramsey, who's one of the better cornerbacks maybe of all time, that man still will give up a decent amount of yards. But that doesn't take away from his greatness. It just means that like sometimes you get burned. Like even and this is more recent, but remember that playoff game against the Bucks where like Evans cooked him like twice? Like people I don't think people get that. Like look, corner, no matter how great you are as a corner, you're going to get burned. It's just if you play long enough, you're going to get cooked. And like I think people over exaggerate just how bad Diggs is at like getting burned. Like it's not. I don't think he's that bad. Like what do you think, Law?
When you're talking about playing in phase as a cornerback in his second year, right? And pretty much, I think overall was like his 4th year ever playing that cornerback. If you add in this, the actual college years or what have you, you going to get cooked. That's not going to be a situation where you're not going to get cooked. You're going to get cooked.
Right.
They're going to challenge you, but you got to make them pay. And the cornerback position is one position that in that spot, in that moment, you got to earn your respect across the league. They're going to at least try to attempt to see what you are made of, but you got to make them pay. And right now, the narrative aspect is winning, right? But give me the cornerback that gives up 900 yards and 11 interceptions every day, any day, and he only gave up 3 touchdowns. Give me that. We used to say all the time, bend but don't break. So if Diggs played the same season that he had last year, I'm okay with it. I just want his surrounding parties to be better. I want safety that's above the roof to make them pay. I want the defensive front to create more and more pressures so that the ball can come out earlier or quicker. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Right.
Diggs can stay the same, and eventually his respect will be given to him because he earned it.
Well, yeah, and that. So one more thing before I go. So like, and this is one of these things that I don't understand. Like I kind of do understand, but I guess my question to you really is that the way that the Cowboys are covered, I just don't get it because, like, for I'll give you an example. So this season we went 12-5.
Right.
We had the number 1 offense.
Right.
And I think we had the number 1 turnover differential, if I recall.
Big facts.
And we lose the playoff game to the 49ers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people just go absolutely insane. They act like the team wasn't good, and like people act like they weren't a contender and all that. So I'm like, look, I understand like we lost, and I get that. We understand that, but I think people go too far in discrediting the Cowboys, and I don't necessarily know why. Like the 12-5 with number 1 in turnover, and like for many other teams, if a team was number 1 overall in offense and number 1 in turnover differential with a 12-5 record, that's a great season. Like I just think like for the Cowboys, like from a media perspective, it's a bad season. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. it's for the views, and they're not talking about the Rams, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Packers, nor the Chiefs right now. They don't generate attention. Cowboys do,
Right.
And nobody cares about those other organizations. They care about the Cowboys because it generates revenue, and they can't, even if they believe that 12-5 was good, they can't continue to say the good things about it, because at the end of the day, nobody want to hear positivity. Negative sell. The information about, man, an accident waiting to happen, or this guy, can he climb up out of the 15th ranked, or can this team elevate from being the bottom end of the defense against the run to being number one? Those things garner a lot of attention. Look, for example, there's a reason why Desperate Housewives of Housewives of Atlanta have a long stay with networks. The negativity. I think that on those shows and episodes, only one couple was married, but they draw so much attention because of the negative attitudes and the attention far as the reality show of them bickering and biting and fighting against each other. Those things sell. Those are for the views. But they won't really pay attention to a housewives that's faithful, loyal, that like to go out with their husbands, with their husband, I meant to say, and have a great time. They won't show that because they don't sell. Negative sell.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but hey, Law, good talking to you, man. Law Nation, stand up.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. That's my guy right there, man. I like this. Law Nation, stand up. I like that. I'm going to have to get a shirt. Say, Law Nation, stand up. I recall one time I was doing the play-by-play, and every time I stood up, baby, we were scoring on those drives. I was tired, man. It was 3 hours, man. Y'all said, Law, stand up. And I would stand up. I think it was CB for life, man. I try not to block anyone, so if you are blocked, maybe one of my mods block you. But shout out to you, man. Feel free to call in and spit your opinions. Now, the only time I will block someone, unless it's a personal attack, right? We don't do that here. And going against people in a negative way where they can't defend themselves, like bullying, cyberbullying, and things like that, then that will get you a block from me personally. But outside of that, man, I don't have no reason to block anyone. So shout out to you. But my mods tend to get on the blocking groove, and they will block you. And I trust my mods, by the way. They have free reign to block. Sadiq Wachal says, Law, first, I pray that you and your family are well. Appreciate you. Now, tell why these folks has to be reminded to hit that chat room and hit that like. Yeah, shame on you guys if y'all haven't hit that like button. Shame.
Shame. Shame.
From the
Shame.
316, you are in the mix. Talk to me.
Oh, Law, what's going on, man?
And nothing to it, man. Hey, I haven't watched the show yet, man. I haven't watched it yet, though.
I was going to bring that up last.
I haven't, man. Hey, I kid you not. I turned it on. My little one was in my lap. I turned it on. I literally turned it on. And the opening scene, he was, yeah. And I was like, God dog. I didn't know they were going to show that much. And my little one looking up, and he was, yeah. And he was under the bed, and he was like, shh. And I tried my best. I said, y'all started off with the scene. I was
Oh, yeah, because he got to tell you the story. He got to tell you what happened, how he ended up there.
How he ended up under the bed while somebody was power driving,
Yeah.
I was like, God dog, man.
Yo, but at least you got that much, so you get a pass. You there, you get a pass. You said, I'm gonna give you a pass. So I know you got to see the rest of it.
I'm gonna see the rest of it, man. But man, look, I got this nice big TV, man. And it's from Samsung, a QLED TV, man. And they gave it for me. but they done took over. The ladies done took over the TV. You know, I'm not a king of my own castle when it comes to the TV. And so when I go upstairs, they come upstairs. I go downstairs, they come downstairs. So I can't find the time to watch it, man. But go ahead.
Send them to the store.
Yeah, true that. Send them to the store. Okay.
That's the only way you're gonna win.
Man, what you got for me, man?
What I got for you, man, I figured our defense is going to be thorough. What I really hope to see is what the Tuna did. If we can control the time of possession throughout every game, we're going to be unstoppable.
I truly believe that part of it. T.O.P.
T.O.P. I mean, if you look at, compare Tuna's team to this team, which team is better on paper?
I mean, you talking about the 06? You talking about Tuna like 06 Cowboys versus this Cowboys?
Yes.
Shoot, this Cowboys.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Well, one thing them Cowboys didn't have was a good quarterback.
Yeah. At the time,
they didn't have that.
Romo in 06 and 07 was still trying to learn his way.
Right.
Still trying to, like, I want people to realize if you had 2014 Romo and you put him on the 06 or 07 Cowboys, I think they go further. I think that they don't go to Cabo, right, for one. And I think that they stay knee deep and understand the temperaments of a playoff game. But go ahead. And I think they won't have Romo at 06 holding the doggone snap, by the way. They'll have somebody else holding the ball.
Thank you. There was so many. Anyway, but time of possession. That's the key to the Cowboys season next year is time of possession. You're going to be out in Oxnard. You're going to get to see everybody. If we can get that two-headed monster going with play action, time of possession will be in our favor in every game. Because the defense, like you said, defense and offense, they work together.
They do.
Okay, if the defense get the ball back, we cannot go 3 and out.
Okay.
You can't go 3 and out. Period. If our defense let's sit here and play, and let's say they did drop the whole field, and we got a turnover or they held them to a field goal, you get the ball back, understand our defense need to rest.
Yeah.
So it's your job now to march that ball down the field the same way.
True that.
Because if you keep your defense on the heels, that's how you get them gassed. Big plays happen, and then everybody start pointing the finger.
Big facts.
Offense and defense have to work hand in hand with each other. That's all I got for it. That's really all I got to say.
Hey, let me do this. Who are your 2 breakout players for 2022?
Man, for 2022, now are we talking who played last year or haven't played at all?
They have to play in the NFL. Now, I ain't talking about rookies yet. We ain't gonna talk about them.
Okay,
guys.
they have to play in the NFL. All right. You know what? I'm going with the linebacker we picked up from Atlanta.
Oh, wait a minute. You talking about the edge guy, Dante Fowler?
Yes, Fowler.
Okay.
I really believe he's going to do just like everybody else. Get over here, show his button, and go get another big contract.
Man, if he starts showing up, let's say if he had 5 or 6 sacks midway, the Cowboys need to be breaking down the door and just go ahead and extend that guy. If that
exactly, they don't need to let him go.
Don't let him see. Don't even give him a chance to see the market because we know what can happen. But I appreciate you. And what's the other guy? What's the other guy?
The other one, man, everybody already knows is Tony P.
Okay.
But I will say. Dom might have something to prove.
Dom
might have something to prove.
He got 2 days.
Right? Might have something. He might have something to prove.
Yeah, we got 2 days to know too whether or not they're going to give him that long-term deal or not. Yeah.
And if he don't get it, I guarantee you going in there with a chip on his shoulder.
Ooh.
And he will call Jason Whitney.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, man. PP Long,
All right,
y'all
well,
check it out, man. PP Long.
And let him hang with the
Let him
PPP
hang
Long.
when you watching PP Long. Let's
All
go.
right.
Appreciate
Love,
you.
Law Nation.
Appreciate you, man. That's my guy right there, man. Oh my gosh, man. Hey, y'all got to go to PP Long. Type in PP Long on Tubi, and he's in that movie. It's a real like when the first opening scene, they got a sky drawn, beautiful overlay of all of the visuals or what have you. It's just that when when I went to go watch it, bang, 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 bang. You know, and you don't want to really watch that with your little ones, and then you gotta if you're watching those type of shows, you gotta preference it. You know, if you're married, you gotta let your wife know, hey, this movie gonna have some scenes or what have you. Another good one is I'm kind of like on episode 2 or 3, you know, and that's P Valley. That's on Stars. That's a real good one. Y'all check out P Valley. That's a Mississippi movie, man. So shout out to the people from Mississippi. But it's another one. You got to preference it. You got to be like, hey, you know, this gonna have some stuff that's not good for the eyes to watch if you are, you know, of fresh eyes or what have you. But check out those two, man. Owen says Cowboys 14-3. Yeah. Cover those eyes. See, Nick said P Valley not for me. Right. So it's just one of those things, baby. And I support it because, you know, Mississippi, baby, you know, we got to give those Mississippi love, man. But cover your eyes on those type of movies, man. I appreciate you so much. And they said season 2 is better than season 1. So it's going to take me a long time to finish up those episodes because of TOP, time of possession with my TV, you know, time of possession. Cowboy Nation. Eastside said P Valley is too weird for you. I feel you, man. It'd probably be too. Raising Canaan. I'm gonna check that one out. Raising Canaan, because I saw the one. With God dog it. Ghost. What's Ghost? What's the white guy name that went off to Chicago? I forgot his name just that quick. My memory serving me, beat me up. What's his name? I saw that spinoff, and it was pretty good. But they just ended it. It's like they didn't have a good, clean ending on that one. Tommy Egan. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, I saw Tommy. He went over there, and it's like him starting all over again. He's in Chicago, and, you know, he's still setting up with this and setting up with that. But the last episode was like, it wasn't enough. It's like they kind of ended it so quickly. So I was like, all right. I got my guy, man, and he probably be the last caller.
The conference has been locked.
Philly Fan D says the best mod of all sports is Sadiqa, great lady. And Sadiqa is the real one. Uncle Charles, man, what's good?
Man, what's up, man? It's a blessing to see you, Long. Every day is a blessing to see you. Hit your boys, man. How's family, bro?
Family is well, man. They doing great.
Well, you tell those babies Uncle Charles said hello, and make sure they eat their vegetables and go to bed on time.
Yes, indeed. I definitely will tell them that, and I fight them to go to sleep. They like me. They don't like to go to sleep for some reason.
Well, children do that. They do that. You be knocked out, and they be looking at you.
Definitely. Playing all in the beard, parting it, you know, seeing if it's real, pulling on it and stuff like that. I say, God dog, girl. I'd surprise them and shave it off and then scale them. Talk to me.
Children are a blessing, man. A better blessing. And the thing is, when they get past 15, you don't know what you're going to get. You just got to be prepared to roll with. And that's all I got to say about that. Let me just say this, Cowboy Nation. I want to say hello to the Cowboy Nation. Good day. Let me say, I really don't care what the Cowboys do from here on out. I don't care who the standout is. Get the job done. See, every team starts out at the beginning of the year filling each other out
Right.
as teammates.
Right.
And learning each other ways, and learning the coaches' ways. Man, let me tell you something. When you in that training camp and you sweat like a hog in that training camp, you leave it out there on the field. Practice make perfect. That's when you go into the game. There was a few legends really didn't practice, and they played well in the game. They just weren't good people in practice, but they was a hell of a player in the game.
Yeah.
But only certain folks, God only blessed certain folks to do that. So it really don't make me no different what Jerry do. And let me tell you something, Jerry's a powerful man. Because any 2 times somebody says, you my daddy, and I give you $3 million to say, I ain't, you know you bad. So, you know you a bad man. So, you know, Jerry gonna be all right. Jerry gonna be Jerry, y'all. He's what he is. Jerry's flamboyant, and he's getting on up there, and I hope Jerry get that last one, you know, for the chime start jingling. I sure hope that. So let me just say this. I'm gonna say this. I want to tell my people, my Cowboy brothers and sisters. Let me tell you something. We're gonna be all right, y'all. One day we'll get there and we'll win it all. And let me tell you something. It's gonna be one hell of a party. Trust me on that.
Oh yeah.
So let Uncle Charles give you a closing that you always get from me. Let me explain something to you. But take y'all stuff out here. Put your mask on because, you know, things are picking back up. I want my brothers and sisters to be safe. So be careful. Know where you're at and don't be around so many people. And then, you know, because I don't want nobody to get sick. So take care of yourself that way. But you got to pay attention. I say the word of the day is I say pay attention. Because we have a food outside Walmart out here sitting on the bench. Eyes closed, head thrown back, eyes rolling in the head, and flies was flying in and out his throat. And I could have sworn 2 of the flies didn't come back out. They died in his chest, not knowing where he at. But again, I had to learn as a black man, you know, you can't support every business. I seen a place over there on 3rd Avenue North, and the guy was out there, and I should have known something wrong when he had the same 2 pairs of shoes. I should have known something wrong then. But I decided to go ahead and buy a cowboy belt and a cowboy hat. I put that cowboy belt on with my Levi's and my Air Force One, and I went in the store. And when I came out, the belt was gone. It was on the ground, crumbled up, and melted. No, I couldn't use that. So I went home. I said, well, I still got my hat. And how in the hell do a blue star turn into a yellow star before morning comes? How in the hell do that happen? And there was one more thing in closing, Lord. I'm going to close it all out.
Uh-huh.
I want y'all to understand something. Don't mess with wild animals. Don't do it. Because brothers at the zoo throwing rocks at a female tiger. And, you know, they were throwing it, telling some peekaboo, I see you, throwing rocks at her. And the female tiger wasn't happy. And you know what she was saying? She said, I'm in this fake habitat. I'm eating this fake ass food. And they telling me it's real. And now I'm mad. And he's throwing rocks at me. Now I'm tired. She backed up 10 feet and jumped a 19-foot wall. And let me tell you something, that female tiger wasn't dumb, y'all, because she ate the one that was throwing the rocks. So be careful. Eat that wild animal alone. And that's all I got to say. And I love you, Law. Appreciate you, bro.
Love you. Man, that's Uncle Charles, man, the one and only, man. Hey. Wild animal let you guys know that animal is not that wild. Got some intelligence up there in the mind. And Uncle Charles, speaking in parables, man, you know, it takes you to go back and listen to him, rewind, and realize what he's saying. And they hit home. So I encourage you guys to rewind these episodes and listen to Uncle Charles, you know. And it will be to the situation that you'll say, man, and then you'll be like, oh, where's the spoon? You know, it'll give you one of those type of moments. And I really appreciate Uncle Charles, man. The guy's remarkable, amazing for the Cowboys community. And man, by us doing these shows, we get a chance to hear and listen to people from all around the world with different insights and different intellect. And then at the end of the day, we still root for one team, right? In the hearts of hearts, I see my guy Eastside Harold, right? I'm quite sure he roots for the Cowboys, right? You do at some levels, man. You got to level with me, East Side. You root for the Cowboys in some capacity. Even if you root for us to lose, you're rooting, meaning that you're watching, and that count as a view. So, D-Zo, Mr. 316 says, please hit that Monty one time for us. You know, I got you, man. It's always good to know that we have breaking news around here, Cowboy Nation. And I love the fact that you guys are here to capture this breaking news, getting reports from all over the world about this. Hey, we got breaking news.
We answered. I talked stuff. I thought we had it. But it goes to show you who's a better team. And I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap a hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go Birds, fly, Eagles, fly. Still Super Bowl chance for now.
Oh my goodness, man. And with that being said, the news is the news, and I love it, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate those who follow this channel and understand that I'm going to keep that same energy, so you don't have to say it, right? It's going to be a situation and scenario that Law Nation will keep that same energy, even when I'm down, even when I'm out of it. You guys may see me hurt a little bit, right? I said, man, that dude hurt after that loss. But man, Law, when he, after a loss, go watch those videos. I rev it up even more. I rev it up even more, man. So that's just me, man. That's my flavor right there. And I hope that you guys understand. That's the way it's supposed to be. We live in a society now, right, that you got to apologize so quickly. You can't hurt people's feelings by telling them what's going on with this, what's going on with that. They try to counsel you, right? I'm quite sure the Monties of the world are looking at this thing saying, man, we got to figure out a way, man. They picking on me, right? At least we won in 2017, you know? And I get it. I understand. Right? I saw an article out there. I think it was from the game day. My people, they posted on the Instagram feed. Shout out to them, man. Man, these are my people. The game day. They posted, let me see if I can find it right quick so I can show it to you guys, right? D game day. They're my people, man. And they want to poke at my team. That's okay. And let me know they keeping everything relevant to this point and to this degree. Let me see if I can find it. Look how much they hate on my team. My people. The Jacksonville Jaguars have more playoff wins than the Dallas Cowboys since 1996. They're my people, right? We work with each other. D-Game Day, but check them out. I'm giving them some free pub right now. Right? Highest points per game in NFL history. You see the Dallas Cowboys spread it out. They're trying to do a feel-good story now, right? But earlier they talked about my team. And I'm quite sure that there are more and more people that's willing to talk about us, the Dallas Cowboys. You know why they talk about the Dallas Cowboys and they bring up all of these stats? Because in life, there's always someone or something that you have to compare yourself to, right? To make yourself relevant, right? That's the bar. Like for the NBA, the bar is MJ, Michael Jordan, right? Were there other players better than Mike? Yeah. Or elevated the game just like Mike? Yeah. But the bar is Mike. So for the NFL, the bar, the Dallas Cowboys, right? It's been since 1995-96 season that we made it to the biggest of the brightest stages of all, the Super Bowl. right? That's a long time to be waiting to get back to those graces. But since that time frame, yes, it's been a long time coming, and other teams have made it there. But the bar is still the Dallas Cowboys. Think about it. You would think that people would talk about the Patriots, but they can't, because it don't have a certain vibe to it, a ring to it. There's still some ambiguities with some of those Super Bowls, right? With the big asterisk mark to it. You would think that they talk about the Steelers, but that organization and franchise, even though they got more, it don't have a certain chime to it like the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe it's because of the star, the silver and blue, that shines so brightly that everybody want a piece of it. Like, I want some of that, right? The Dallas Cowboys, they love it. Or maybe they just like to open wide to keep that big D in their mouths, right? Maybe that's the situation. But I come here to tell you all that's watching and listening right now that win, lose, or draw, let me rewind my time. Win, lose, or draw, the Dallas Cowboys will always have Law as a fan, and will always have those that's watching right now that's supporting this team as a fan. So don't worry about trying to take away what we did with greatness and our legacy to uplift yours, because those are the reality of it. I tell people all the time, write this one down once again. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all of your desires, if it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, just write those parts down, Cowboy Nation, and understand. If dogged and grim and besieged and beset it with the help of Almighty, you will get it if you go out there and fight for it. And that's what I'm looking for. My breakout players for this 2022 season, James Washington. His back is against the wall. A lot of people looking at him saying that, hey, you can run every route on the tree, but when you was in Steelers land, you was the fourth option. What you think that you're gonna do as the second for the Cowboys? Well, it's a puncher's chance. It's a fight that he know that it's not gonna be given to him. My other guy on this list is Malik Hooker. Who is Malik Hooker? This guy can't stay off the PUP list. I think he injured himself just by reading an article. But now it's time for him to go out there and fight for it, to lose all terror of his mind for it, to simply go after the thing that he wants with all of his capacity, strength, and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and go out there and make it happen. I can do this for hours, right? And then on top of that, you got Kelvin Joseph. That's my third guy, drafted in the second round. Boy, he got a lot of tribulations on him. And I ain't trying to say with hesitations nor deviation to the matter. This dude got the world on his shoulders. You're gonna have to figure it out. If not, Bland is behind him. Nashawn Wright is there. Anthony Get Down Brown is saying, hey, don't leave me out the list. That's iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel type of groove. Taylor Stewart Scott has said, baby, I may be undrafted, but I'm a 4-3 guy. Mosley, he said, hey, y'all don't know my name, but by the end of training camp, all of y'all will know my name, right? Say my name when no one else was around you, right? Boom. That can happen right there, Cowboy Nation. But it's all up to their mindset to get out there to make it happen. Roll up those sleeves and get down and dirty with it, Cowboy Nation. So with all of that being said, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We up out of here. Shout out to all of those that's following, that's subscribing to this thing. We're going to get it one way or another. Roll those credits. Yep.
Nowadays, nothing really is ice. Only one of me and nobody.
Shout out to you, Uncle Charles again. Come on. Jared, Thomas, appreciate you. Cooley, real one. Val, Venus, appreciate you. Let's go. Super chat. Thank y'all for the support. Philly Fan D, Leonard Owens, Sadiqua, Charles, Mr. 316 and me. Appreciate you. Appreciate D1 and as well AJ Boomer. Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing really is ice. Only one of me and nobody.
Come on. Roll those credits one more time for your mind. It's time, baby. Let's go.
I keep giving game away.
Emotional damage.
Let's go.
I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today.
Come on.
I got paid off pain today.
Let me see some fire now.
In my own lane, finger roll.
Come on.
I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low.
Ball sack
All this acting, you gon' play a role.
I've got balls of steel.
That's a cold-blooded name. Texas Taco. Let's go. Look at my guy, Boss Cowboy, man. Hey, we're going to bring it back with even more fire this year. Cowboys Experience. Be sure to meet us out there at one of the events. We got, lo and behold, the grand opening against the Buccaneers game. We got an event. And on top of that, we will have the Cincinnati Bengals game. So put it like this. Don't meet us there at these events. Beat us there to these events. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. So that's Cowboys Experience. Hey, for a good time and a glorious time, be sure to check out Cowboys XP, man. CowboysExperience.com. And hey, I promise you, if it's a party and if it's something that the Cowboys need to have, and I'm there, it's gonna be fun. It's going to be a glorious time, right? That's how we get down, Cowboy Nation. Ain't that right? Shout out to you, Sheila Neal. And if you've been to a Cowboys Experience event before, let me know in the chat. Yo, we have good times, baby. We get down with it. Let me slow it down for you guys. Let me get on up out of here, too. Let's get it up. Hey, roll tide, I see you. Davis. Let's get it. Let them hang. Come on.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out, breathe you in.
Yes, indeed, Big Sarge. Round Table in Oxnard. So y'all type in RTO. Round Table in Oxnard. So when the volume is there, y'all type in RTOs. And when we are live anywhere, type in RTOs. Let's go. Come on.
You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights hit you.
I want me some glory.
Wait for rain, you gotta deal with the mud.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, play it
Tag the Round Table crew and let them know RTO. There will be Foots, Okoye, Skywalker Steel, and Botch. They won't even know what it means. Just keep typing RTO till they figure it out. Put like this, type in DRTO. Hit them up on their Twitter.
You know it's dangerous to go alone.
Come on.
Don't let the street lights hit you. Could night be on? Play it too. I follow.
Damn act together.
Wherever you go, whatever you do.
You ain't lying.
Play it too. If a paper crane
Mr. Nasty.
I'm pressing all of my buttons, huh?
doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly.
Like this motherfucker don't miss. That motherfucker don't miss, man. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Crane can fly. Fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
He needs some milk.
Let's go, baby. It's Cowboys time. DC for life. We about. Salute.
You have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet.
Until next time, Cowboy Nation.
Execute Order 66.
Another one.